Welcome everyone again. This is another Tech Talk with Eli and
James.
Remember, I'm Eli from Hope for Today TV, and James is the owner and the main guy in Audio Networks. Networks Audio and Video Inc. I don't know how many episodes will take me just to pronounce it right. I don't know. I think it's that X in the name that is just like messing me up, and he's turning so red because I practiced before recording, but whatever. We're here again, and we're gonna talk about a really intriguing question that we want to answer through this episode in how to start a video ministry in your church. And let's go right into the question. So James is an expert, and what is the dynamic. He will answer the question. We will go through over a couple points of view, and then we will continue. Remember, if this is your first time, please like the video, subscribe to James' channel, to my channel, and please click on the notification bell so when we get a new video, you will get a notification. And if you have any comments or any suggestions, any questions, we will really appreciate it because we want to serve you and help you better. That's the reason why we're doing this, because we want to help you in your churches with technology and a lot of really funny things. So let's go to the question number one, James. Are you ready?
I am ready. Go ahead.
Okay, there are many benefits of a video ministry within a church. Can you name some?
Yes, absolutely. There are many benefits to a video ministry, just from the opportunity to create an awesome video team where you can include and engage experienced volunteers, and also use this as an opportunity to train some of the youth. And besides having that team where you can, actually forge the ministry around that team, you can also expand your outreach ministry. You can also use it to promote your other ministries and share and create visual memories, as well as using it as a teaching tool.
What are the actions that you think that we can take regarding starting a video ministry about this specific area? What are the actions that you can suggest us?
I'd say the first actions are look for professionals amongst your congregation to see if they're willing to help create or grow your video ministry. And with them, partner with your youth ministry to train and build up your pool of volunteers, because a pool of volunteers is what you're going to need in order to reliably work your video ministry on a regular basis, and also to expand it when the time comes. And remember, harness the power of technology to boost your ministries and engage your professionals, your youth, and your congregation.
I cannot take my eyes out of a couple words that you were mentioning, and you're mentioning youth. Why do you think that in this new adventure of starting a video ministry, do we have to engage the younger generations?
A lot of churches have actually mentioned that they struggle with engaging the youth and keeping the youth within the churches. Oftentimes they say the people who are a little bit older, maybe middle age or elderly, are amongst the majority of the people within the church. And they find that the youth end up growing up in the church and then leaving and going elsewhere and not remaining. And this is an opportunity to help engage and keep the youth within the church, and actually have other youth come from other areas. Maybe the youth will bring their parents in and grow your church. Because as you engage them and you give them responsibilities and you teach them new things and new technologies, which are very much in the forefront and much to like what they are already used to with their phones and their tablets and so on, this is how you're going to be able to grow that ministry. And I think also keep and maintain and grow the youth presence within your church.
That's awesome. And I love the idea of involving youth into this area. I cannot stop seeing videos or listening to stories in churches like people over 45 or over 50 who are not good with technology. I've seen small kids, even my son, at this point, he's 11. and I have to ask him, hey, how do you do this? Because he already did it before. So the younger generation is more capable to handle technology better than us in a lot of times. Of course, our experience and everything in other areas of life are good, but engage with youth. I cannot stop saying this over and over and over, but the younger generation is not the future church, it's the actual church. Because as James said, they will run your ministries. And this is an amazing outreach venue that you can use, and it's a perfect way to bring families together. So as a pastor, I want to invite you, please engage with the younger generation, because they know how to use the computers better than you. Even they know how to use the cell phones better than us. They know the tricks and sometimes even the hacks. So watch out and make sure that you put all the safeties into your computers. Yes, just to prevent. I'm just saying, right, James?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me go to question number 2. If a church is just starting out, what will you say are the most important pieces of the puzzle that need to finish first?
The first thing is a plan. And actually, there are 2 plans that you want to do. One is a video ministry plan. What are you going to use the equipment, or actually, I should say, what do you want to accomplish? Because you don't want to start off by buying equipment. You want to start off by understanding how you are going to do things. And that will actually guide you to what you're going to need in order to accomplish that. So you want to know, is this going to be used in order to expand our outreach and engage people who cannot make it into the space? Is it going to be used because we're going to shift from hymnals to lyrics to be displayed? There are many points to this, and understanding what you want to do with this and writing this down in a plan will guide you as to what you're going to need. The other thing is you want to have a video production plan, and that's something that when you are going to actually produce your live stream, or even potentially use it because you have an overflow area and you want to send a video image to an overflow area or a kitchen, then you want to know, how are we going to get this done? In our plan, are we just turning on a camera feed and the camera is in a fixed position during the whole service, and we just want a static image, and then when it's done, it shuts off? Do we want to have something more engaging? Do we want to be able to have people operate different things? So those are all questions that are going to lead you to know how many cameras you're going to need, what types of cameras you're going to need, what types of maybe potentially video switching equipment, and so on and so forth. You also want to start off finding some experienced volunteers, because many times we are going to be better off if we can find somebody who knows more than what we do.
Yeah.
And so if we can get somebody within the church who knows more about this, have them head up this so that they can help you in developing the plans and also making sure that things run smoothly. You'll also want to have good cameras.
Yes.
Because if you're going to have any kind of image, if you just have a low-cost camera, it just doesn't have the ability to provide the proper color, the proper white balance, and the proper lighting, contrast, and so on, that you would have, let's say, in a better quality camera. Even the zoom ratios may not be the same.
Yes.
And oftentimes within the good cameras, the lens is one of the important parts of it, and that has to be a certain quality as well too. Otherwise, again, your image is not going to be that well. And I know that there are a number of important pieces to this puzzle. One of them is a reliable, fast internet.
Oh, please.
Because if you're
preach, brother.
Because if your internet is too slow, then you can have a choppy signal coming up.
Oh yeah.
And it could cause your images to look blurry. or choppy, or maybe the audio comes out of sync with the video midstream and then comes back in
Stop it.
sync.
I'm getting a headache because I experienced that one before. You're totally right.
Yeah, and that the thing is that a reliable, fast internet, but that's not all, because your internet alone is just the conduit that goes up, and that might actually be fine. Maybe you have a good, fast internet. You also need what we call a non-blocking local network. And that means the network that you are using to connect to the internet with, where you have your router or your network switch and so on, non-blocking in the sense that you do not want to have traffic jams on that network.
Yes.
And so you have to have it designed properly, and you more than likely will need some IT technology experts to come in and to help build a non-blocking network for you, or to help you with that, so that you are not having issues within your building, even though you have a fast internet connection. You'll also need some good live streaming hardware. And I say hardware, I mean, it could be a computer which you are using with a streaming software, or it could be some other third-party appliance, or it could be something that's built into a camera. And you also need a professional audio connection, because if your audio connection is like not good and you have a hum on it, or there's a hissing noise, or it's a little spotty and maybe it's crackly, no, you need to have it spot on. It's got to be clear, it's got to be pristine, because when people tune into a live stream, you can have the best video you can have that's possible. If your audio is not good, people will turn it off. Whereas if your audio is good and your video is a little bit off, they will tend to stay on longer than they would if your video is perfect and your audio is not so perfect.
And I won't get tired of reminding everyone that all YouTubers, everyone online, when you try to see what is the success on a YouTube channel or an online platform just to spread your content or your message, the three main things they mention is, number one, visual. Your image has to be sharp, it has to be clear. Number two, the audio. But video and audio is not everything. Lighting also. The image has to be clear. So I know that for some pastors, this might be something a little bit confusing, but believe it, what we're trying to do is just like trying to dissolve all these concepts for you to be able to adapt all that technology to your current need in your church. And as it is, if you don't have a camera, you have a powerful cell phone. Use the cell phone, purchase even a good microphone online, and then just start in the daylight. In those kind of things are going to help you to engage more with the audience, because if the people see that the audio is just like really far away, they cannot hear you or they cannot see you and the image is blurry. You have experienced that one before. So please take the advice that James is giving to us, all of us, because this is going to help us to engage more with the audience. Remember that the technology and all the things happening around the world are pushing us to get better into the outreach ministry through the online streaming. So James, you mentioned a lot of amazing things. What are the actions that we can take regarding this adaptation of the technology, regarding the video in the church as the first pieces of the puzzle for starting this video ministry?
Start off by creating a video ministry plan. Detail how ministries are going to engage and benefit from it. Then create a video production plan. This will help provide clarity on what equipment and volunteers are needed. And then, well, implement your plans. Take initial steps, even in a simple system configuration, and grow as your needs and budget increase.
Yes, I think that's the key. I mean, we can have a video ministry, we can have the production plan and everything, but please implement the plan and follow the guidelines. That's the reason why it's important to continue getting in contact. And we were talking about these connections, like physical in local business connections with people like me and James. Again, we don't live close to each other, but we still have this amazing friendship and connection. And this is helping you right now just to get better in your video production. But also remember, we are experts in planning and putting everything on paper, but sometimes we don't follow those plans. Please follow the plans, implement the plans. And one extra advice that I can add, like a cherry on top of this little muffin that we're giving you, is please empower and trust your volunteers with the equipment that you're providing them for your church to be able to share the message. Empower and trust, because we have to empower and trust. Power and trust. Repeat it with me 5,000 times. Implement, empower, and trust your volunteers, because they are the ones who are going to help you to implement everything. So those are amazing ideas. And this is taking me to the third question, James. There are some examples of basic systems you can give to a church that is just starting their video ministry.
Well, the simplest, you've mentioned it before, and you've mentioned it in other videos as well too, is just a smartphone. But use an audio interface if you can, because the audio interface that connects to the smartphone will allow you to connect your mixer output into that and to get a much better sound quality.
So you were mentioning about the smartphone and audio interface camcorders with USB capture, and I cannot get my mind out of this one. There is a brand, iRig, who were creating things for your phones, and that's a really good audio interface. I remember the first time you sent me an audio sample of one of the songs that we were working together, and you were using just your phone and an interface. And if you hear the audio, you will be, I told you, where did you do it? Because the quality is really high. So there's, I don't want to say cheap regarding like plastic or really disposable. I mean, low price gadgets that can help you to increase your quality in the video. What else can you give us as an example of basic systems, James?
Well, there are professional live streaming camcorders that are available, which can live stream directly to YouTube or Facebook, and they would have professional audio connections, so you can plug your mixer directly into it. There are also some pan tilt zoom cameras, which also have live streaming built into them, and also have line inputs for your mixer and so on. And there's even some cameras which are network streaming capable, so they could be a professional camcorder, they could be a pan tilt zoom, a professional one, but they have this ability to stream on the network. And what I mean by that is I don't mean directly necessarily to YouTube or Facebook, but to stream to a computer. And your computer, you could use the network streaming camera, you could use an audio interface as well with it to connect between your mixer to your computer if your mixer does not have a USB connection on it. And you could use a free software, something like OBS, on your computer that allows you to capture that network stream and to get the audio. You can also do some syncing as well too. There are audio delays that are available within OBS as well too, so you can time align the words in the mouth. And you can create your stream directly to YouTube or Facebook from that software. So there are a number of basic systems that are available. And so I think that it's easy to start off even with what you have. I mean, most churches have a computer. Most churches, have somebody that has a smartphone or a camcorder. So if you need to start basic, you can. If you want to take that step up and be professional, you can start with a single camera system that even has live streaming built in. And then afterwards, take that second phase or third phase later on where you're changing your video production plan from a simple, basic, no hands-on production to we're going to do some changes to this video production, and then we're going to have maybe a multi-camera production later on, and you can phase those you can phase that in later on as your ministry grows.
One of the things that you mentioned right now, and I really like it, but I just want to give a warning. OBS is an amazing platform, but it's an open source video streaming and recording device that you won't get support from anyone because there's no support line. But this is the beautiful thing about OBS. You can Google it, and there's a huge community, like millions, I will say billions of people using OBS who will help you to troubleshoot your problems with OBS. But that's the reason why we were recommending you before, use the younger generation, because it's not user friendly for the generation like my generation over 40, that they're not used to technology. But for the younger generation, this is just a device that they will love, and it's compatible with Linux, it's compatible with Windows, and also with Mac. So James, what are the actions that you can suggest us to take regarding this starting up video production station in the basic levels in moving forward to a more complex video setting?
Well, start with what you have or start small. You can always grow later on. Select products that can be reused when your system grows to the next level. Avoid products that will become obsolete when you upgrade your system. Initially, focus on overall video clarity, audio clarity, and rock solid live streaming. You can add video angles, close-ups, text or image presentations, and titling when your system grows.
Remember that one. And I like this one because you always mention this one. Avoid products that will become obsolete when you upgrade your system. Don't spend money, invest. Even though it might sound like a little bit sketchy, but try to purchase equipment that is going to help you to grow your ministry. And then you won't have to have more equipment for the evil room that is the storage room. Remember those rooms that we were talking before? That you open the door and you are like, Father, please help me to find out some way to get rid of all this. And all the churches have it. I've been in thousands of churches, and you know what I'm talking about. But just make sure that you invest the money of God in the right resources. In sometimes, I want to give you a quick example. I used to buy shoes for my kids. I have 3, of course. I have to see the budget, and I used to spend $60 on really nice sneakers for the kids just to run and all the stuff. But I was noticing that after 2-3 months, they start getting pain in their feet because the shoes were not good quality. And $60 is a lot of money when you talk about 3 kids. But I have to spend another $60 in the run of 6 months. So I already spent $120 per kid in shoes. So what we end up doing with my wife is just like trying to find the best quality shoes. And we end up spending right from the top, $120 budget for shoes, running shoes for my kids for school. And you know what happened? Those shoes last me in between 12 to 18 months. And technically that's a saving. In the same way you can approach the technology to your church. If you were gonna buy, again, something online, just make sure that it's a really well-known, high-quality brand. And even though the price tag might be high, but please try to invest in something, as James says all the time. Make sure that you have a plan so you can grow your ministry and you can piece the puzzle little by little so you will grow and you won't waste the resources. Right, James?
That's right. Having a plan to say, you know, I this is what I want to accomplish on day one. This is what I want to accomplish a week after that or a month after that, and so on. Having those steps within your plan also helps you to know how you're going to grow it. It'll also help you identify what you want to get. If you're just kind of like going by, well, I see this item online, I'm not really sure, I'll take a chance on it because it doesn't cost much. Oftentimes we justify it by saying, well, it's not expensive, so if it doesn't work out, it's not that bad. Oftentimes when we get it, we say it really is that bad.
It is.
Because the pricing that, you know, we see for this type of application is because the product was intended for maybe use within your home. Maybe it's a consumer product and not a professional product, where a professional product is meant to be used in a larger space, something that has a much farther distance to travel, something that has challenging light conditions, something that, the list goes on of the different reasons why, the products are different, because professional products are made for professional applications, and products which are meant to be used in the home don't have the same kind of requirements, and therefore are just made to a lower standard, and it's really not the same. And so you have also very large differences in cost. And at the end of the day, if you're going to need a professional piece of equipment and you're going to buy that, every step that you take buying something that is not the right choice becomes something which will be obsolete for you. It'll become an expense. So this item, if it was a $2,000 item that you need, and you bought a $200 item, and then you bought a $400 item, and then you bought an $800 item, well, by the time you're done, your $2,000 item, which you end up buying, costs you $2,000 plus $800 plus $400 plus $100. It becomes very expensive.
Oh, I know that by experience. And one of the things that James is mentioning, and I already told you regarding the example I give you regarding the shoes, I'm not trying to promote brands, but the reason why brands are in the market is because they build a reputation based on durability and quality. And remember, quality is subjective to what your need is, and quality for some people means it's affordable, but sometimes affordable, it doesn't mean that it's a high quality product. And James just mentioned it. It's a consumer product that it has certain kind of quality and durability. It will last for some amount of years, but the industrial, the professional ones are more durable in their quality of their build, in the products like plastic against a really solid stainless steel kind of microphone and those kind of things. So I think you got the idea. And that's what we're trying to do with this channel and with this Tech Talk with James and Eli, is help you to have a different perspective on the things that you have to do regarding the money and investment on equipment in your church. Stop spending again. And James said it, like, let's say you're gonna end up buying the microphone of $2,000, but you already spent $600 3 times. You used to find out that, I don't want to say it like that, but used to find out that we were right. Spend the $2,000 instead of $3,800 in trying to find out the answer. And sometimes trying to find the answer is not the right way. Go with the professionals, and right from the top, try to invest. That's the reason why I don't say spend. And like I said, James is located in Markham, Ontario. He can drive from Thunder Bay to Orangeville to Windsor and everywhere just to help you. Call him. And if you have any questions, please use the comments below to let us know any questions or suggestions that you have for us, for future references, for future episodes. And the reality is, like, we're here to help you. We're not promoting any brand or anything, or even our ministries or our companies. We're just trying to help you with really good advices. And that's the reason why you see the conversation in between James and me with the and what does it mean? It's just like we're two good friends who wants to share our experience and knowledge with you. And from my side, this is everything. I don't know if you want to add anything else, James, for today.
The thing is, we talk about, a technology partner. We spoke about that previously.
Yes.
A technology partner is key. It is vital, because that's the person who's going to be able to help you to make the decision so that you're only spending money once, and not twice or 3 or 5 times. I remember I know that there are a number of studies that have shown that churches, when they buy sound systems, oftentimes about maybe their third or fourth or fifth sound system ends up being their good one. And I've heard that before, just because of how things are done. You know, the first one when the building was built was because that's what the engineer kind of spec'd out, but it didn't quite meet all of the needs that were there. The second one was because somebody went maybe to a particular over-the-counter place and they got some instructions, and so they bought some items and then tried to piece something together, and so on and so forth, until finally they meet up with a technology partner who can actually work with them and come up with the solution that is required and the adequate sound system and so on. And I remember one church that we went in, and when we had finished doing the sound system and everything was working great, the pastor just looked at me and said, "Where were you 10 years ago?" And really, I mean, that's kind of like the blunt, the blunt thing that hits you, right? You need a technology partner. So if there's someone nearby that you speak to, that you have confidence in, that's the person you need to talk to find out. And I'm sorry, I should say, looking online and trying to find some kind of information on the internet may be good for researching things. If you're making decisions based on that, you could be finding that you're buying things once, twice, three times, because unless you're an expert in this, you probably should be talking to one. And so really that's an important thing. I think
I cannot add anything else. You said it all. And that's what it is. You need a partner. Try to find local businesses and in people who has your same values and principles like that one. And remember, what we try to do, especially if you're going through a businessman like James or a minister, a pastor like me, what we're trying to do is trying to give you both sides of the story. But in my experience, as James said, where were you 10 years ago? Yeah, you were trying to do everything by your own. Listen, find partners in your local areas who are going to help you to succeed. And it's not just about selling. Pray. Be intentional. God put the right people on my path, on my way. Like it happens to me and James. He didn't trust me. I didn't trust him because we didn't know each other. And right now we have too much fun. And you will find a good partner. And like I said, leave your comments below in the comments area. Leave your prayer request. Where were you 10 years ago? No, I mean, leave your comments and let us know what else can we do for you. You can email us at Hope for Today with the number 4, Hope for Today TV @gmail.com. The network's audio video website will be right now on your screen so that you can access and you can contact him. And I know James will be happy to answer you all your technicalities. And if you want to know something else about worship teams, how to do technology as a pastor inside your church, I'm here and we're here to help you. So from my side, it's everything today. Thank you very much, James, for taking this time today to help us and to bless us with your presence and your experience. And this was one more time Tech Talk with Eli and
James.
Have a wonderful day.